right, we are live.
I'm not seeing it on the stream here.
You will. Oh, you will.
Oh, I will?
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
So how was your week,
right.
Gabe? How was your weekend?
Long.
It was?
Too long. Well, the weekend wasn't long. The weekend was quick.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Watched some weird movies and ate some stinky food. What more could you want?
What did you watch?
T-shirt. You know that
Wait,
one?
what?
About like the Brazilian street kid in the favela from the 80s.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pichiote?
T-shirt.
Yeah. That was a great, crazy movie.
Unbelievable. I went in blind, knew nothing about it. It's incredible. Absolutely insane.
Well, we got some moments.
And then we got some moments.
in the
I was gonna say. Interesting. M-O-M-E-N. That's how I would spell it. You're an M-I-N guy, though. I noticed.
I don't know.
Your moment spelling.
That's how our moment. Yeah. So that's good.
Speaking of which,
yeah.
I was doodling while listening to the latest app.
Yeah.
It's killing me, dude.
You like it?
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know Friedkin was a documentary guy. Earlier.
Yeah. Let's explain it for the good people. Yeah, the latest episode of 1 Fucking Hour, everybody, my movie podcast, came out on Saturday. It's on 1 Fucking Hour on Cruising. William Friedkin's Cruising. So go on and check that out. I can link it in the chat. But yeah, we gave basically like a historical overview on that very, very, very one of a kind movie.
Yeah, we should explain it. Cruising is a slapstick comedy on a pleasure cruise going through the. No.
Oh my god.
It's a wild, deep undercover. Take it away, Evan. You tell him.
It just stars Al Pacino, and he goes undercover in the gay leather bar scene in the early 80s New York, late 70s actually, New York. And it's a very disturbing, haunting slasher movie, really. Kind of a high art slasher film. But just very weird, very one of a kind, and yeah, we dug into the whole the whole history, the controversy, and the making of it. Here's the episode link. I'm putting it in the chat if you guys want to check it out. Please do.
Drop it, dude.
Yeah, so we're doing that, and then Star 80s.
Yeah, what's next?
Star 80s. Next.
Oh my god.
Yeah, from one fucking bummer movie to the next.
Was that your choice?
It's been one that's in the hopper for a while. You know, we're big Bob Fosse fans, and we wanted to do it for Valentine's Day, so that's our Valentine's Day pick is Star 80.
Ooh, edgy choice.
I know it is. Well, I bought a lot of comics recently.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Been filling out my Kirby's and my Starankos, and yeah, I got a lot of new stuff over the last week. Been kind of going crazy.
How do you have room for all this shit?
I'm actually
Are you dumping others?
Yeah, I'm dumping others, and I'm putting certain boxes together, and yeah,
throwing out family albums and important documents
and heirlooms. Yeah, in order to do it. Looks like we got some French speakers in the chat. This is great.
Exciting.
I know. So this will be your first time looking at this.
I can't wait, dude. I mean, I've looked at the French version. It's incredible. The whole time, I just wish I knew exactly what was going on. I mean, it's it's easy to intuit a lot of the action because Andre's so amazing. But no, I'm so excited to sink my teeth into this.
Oh, you got to get the nuances.
With the man himself, my God.
You got to get the nuances of the world building we're about to get into.
Mm-hmm.
So, Metalhead Bob, it's spelled like this.
spelled like it sounds. Just kidding.
What did you think of Pichiote?
I would fucking love it, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Mind blowing. Just What else did he do?
Very disturbing. I'm not sure.
Very disturbing. Very beautiful. Very
that'd be a great episode for us too. Actually.
Oh man, that would be a great app.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy backstory with that child actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Poor guy.
All right. Well, let's get into Phoenix. Issue number 1 with the man himself, André Poliquin. We'll see you on the other side. Okay, here we go. All right, good evening, everybody. Oh, Gabe, where'd you go?
Hey, sorry, getting comfy.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the Power Comics Book Club. Joined, of course, very special guest this evening. To my right, Mr. André Poliquin. Welcome back to the channel, man.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I need to redo your intro. Excuse me. Welcome back, Power Comics Hall of Famer, André Poliquin, to the Power Comics YouTube channel. How does it feel to be a Hall of Famer, man?
Oh, that's great. I really enjoyed the award ceremony and all the special guests. That was a surprise.
Yeah, what did you make of your celebrity inductor, Bib Fortuna, who actually inducted you formally into the Hall of Fame? How
Well,
did that go?
that was a great surprise. I think he sounded like he expected that I was younger than he thought I was because
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
didn't
god.
know about the Return of the Jedi. But I saw all three originally in the theater.
Wow.
I was like, I was like 11 when I saw the, like A New Hope just before Christmas.
Wow. So you're prime age.
It was a
Oh
nice
my God.
when the other two came out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, when Gabe and I were, or at least when I was selecting the celebrity guests for the Power Comics Hall of Fame, I was looking at who would be the perfect fit for you, and somehow Bib Fortuna just felt perfectly aligned with your sensibilities and your background, and so I called him up, and he was happy to do it.
Oh, that's great. I was just amazed that you were able to get all these people, these actors, and know the name, and to be able to speak up and.
Yeah, man, that's what we're doing, moving and shaking, making connections, right, Gabe?
Yeah, Evan, you told me that the inspiration for Bib Fortuna was you were really confused and you were picking a little piece of tuna out of your food bib that you were wearing, and you were like, "Oh my god!"
Oh my God, Bib
It
Fortuna.
took way
that's
too
who-
long.
that's the name. Yeah.
Took way too long to think that one up. Yeah, man. I mean, come on, Andre. You, of course, you're in the Sir Andre. That's who you are from now on. You're the king, man.
Yeah, Commander Andre. Of course, our minds were blown with Delta Squadron when we first found that. Actually, hold on, full
Good.
stop. Gabe and I were at a comic book store. Was that 2 weeks ago now? I think about 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe 3. We stopped during the Bob Nunn trip when we went to go see Bob Nunn.
2 weeks AN after none. That's my new timeline for.
Right. We stopped at this random comic book shop in New Jersey, digging through the dollar bins. Andre, Delta Squadron #1 in the dollar bin. We found one in the wild. We shrieked. We couldn't believe it. So we found one in the wild just a few weeks ago. That's amazing. But anyway, so yeah, Delta Squadron blew our minds. When you sent me the Phoenix issues, it blew my mind. And then, of course, seeing your home videos, your DIY backyard ninja epics that we looked at earlier on. That's in the YouTube archives. If you haven't seen that blew our mind. And yeah, man. And apparently, there's more films that you're sending me. There's there's more Andre work to be seen. I guess, right?
Oh yes, well, I do have a blog. I don't know if you shared the link at some point, but a lot of my material is on the blog that I have. It's just it was the most affordable way for me to show my art online.
What is
Oh man, gotta link it.
What is the address? What is the web address to that
Oh
blog?
boy.
It's like Enderpole something, or
It's BD André Comics at blogger.spot. Geez.
All right. How about this? How about I will link it in the description of the video right when we sign off
There you go.
from here. So if you're watching a replay of this video, it'll be in the description. Check out Andre's stuff. There's some all of his paintings. There's great stuff in there. Other comics, web comics he's done more recently. And you're also working on something new, right? Do you want to talk about that now, or because you're working on?
Well, sure. Like after being invited to go on your show, and you were talking about how Blastor was like a popular character with his 20 rocket launchers. I actually introduced Blastor. I created him in Phoenix. Actually, you'll see Blastor there.
Right.
Actually, he had 22 rocket launchers. I think I missed a couple of small ones when I did Delta Squadron.
Oh my God.
Suit different characters. So so I've been working on creating a new version,
Yes.
and upgrading him. So I've been working on sketches over the holidays, and I was like, a bit enthusiastic about all the show you did, and the back from the community and stuff. And I figured, oh, why not?
Man.
To do it like more like into like. Well, really like nostalgic, like back in the day when I wanted to just like do comics and movies, and my dream was to have like the whole shebang, like have like a cartoon, a Saturday morning cartoon, and a comic book.
Oh my God!
Line, So I've been working on designs that could be like a part of a tour line, if.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know if anyway, I got the sketchbook there, so I don't know if you want me to show some on screen or not. Or
ooh, let's definitely take a look at that at the end of the show, because then I can expand your camera and we can look at it all nice and big. But yeah, we'd love to look at that. Of course, I remember early on when we looked at Delta Squadron on this channel, we zeroed in on Blastor, and we tried to count the number of rocket launchers that were attached to his body, and I think it was like over 15 at least. And we were
it's 20.
It is 20. Yeah. Okay, so it's 20 rocket launchers in one day. And that is the perfect. It captures your enthusiasm so much for this. This sort of G.I. Joe, Masters of the Universe, Star Wars hybrid world that you've created, and it all started with Phoenix. Phoenix is sort of where Phoenix is like your kind of strange tales, for lack of a better term, where you have two different stories kind of going on serialized in Phoenix. You have your Delta Squadron strip, and then you have the Stranox strip, which is sort of your take on Star Wars, which we'll get into. And yeah, man, it's just amazing. It's brimming with ideas. It's so cool. When you sent them to me, I just flipped out because they looked so cool. All the covers are amazing. We should take a look at those right now, as a matter of fact. And here, let me flip over to boom. Yeah, so here's the first one. And when I got that, and then I saw just like these amazing covers, like, for number 2, number 3, and it just kept going and going and going. This like amazing sci-fi ninja world, that was here. It just like blew my mind. So, but then it was all in French. I had no idea what was going on, so I couldn't read it. And it wasn't until I think our good friend Rémi, not Rémi as part of the Power Comics, but Rémi from France, who's a member of our Patreon. I think you floated me the idea of doing the translation. If you wanted these things translated, let's do it. And so I basically held him to it, and he started sending me the translations for the comic. And then I've been sort of over the past, several months now, piecemeal taking the original comic, erasing the French dialogue, and putting in the English translation. And of course, also in the chat, Colin Noseworthy, shout out to him. Colin actually took your lettering, Andre, and turned it into a series of 3 or 4 different fonts, so we could make the lettering look like your lettering in English, which just adds a whole nother layer of authenticity to it. That's what's so cool about it. So,
incredible.
So that's
I'm just
awesome.
amazed. I'm still astounded that you were all willing to dedicate so much time and effort to get this done. It's amazing.
Well, it's something it's out of the want to know what to read the comic, to be able to read it, and just to be able to share it. And for those who don't know, you can actually download the first issue. We have it up there as a trial basis, the first one on the Patreon, and then we're going to release all 5 together as a digital download with a small price tag. and it's going to also include maybe some downloads of some of your films, Andre, we talked about. So you can get the full André Poliquin experience coming soon to Power Comics. But tonight we're going to be talking about Phoenix #1, the first issue to kind of establish this series. Yeah, great job, Colin. It's amazing. We're going to see your work tonight. And, of course, Rami, we'll see your translation as well. But, yeah, awesome. This comic is amazing. Have to do the shout-out to our sponsor as well, Comic Clear. Andre, I don't know if you're hip to this at all, but we have a sponsor now on the channel, Comic Clear. They make the world's first clear backing board for comic storage. And that's really, really perfect for Phoenix, because that means you can store the comic and see the back cover, clearly through the clear backing board. So everyone who has not had a chance, has anybody out there in chat had a chance to check out the Comic Clear stuff, you should, because they're supporting the channel. So if you want to support us, the best way to do that is to go pick up some of their stuff. It's amazing. All my comics are in Comic Clear. It's awesome. And of course, the Phoenix stuff looks amazing because you get to see the incredible back covers. And is that Gabe's cat? I think it is.
She's driving me insane. Hang on.
Or is that Bib Fortuna dying in the corner there? Okay. Yeah, Comic Clear, man. I don't know why it took 40 years to create a clear comic backing board, but it's really awesome. And Power Comics have some incredible back covers, and it's a great way to feature those. So if you want to pick up some of the supplies, it's comicclearsupplies.com. It's in the chat. Check it out. All right, so let's dig into this, Andre. Now we've talked about this on the channel before, but give us sort of an overview of how did Phoenix come together for you as a project back in, what is this, 84 we're talking about?
85. But the thing is I started getting interested in comics like when I was in high school in the early 80s. And by 1982, I was reading a lot of French translated comic books that were published by Les Éditions Héritage, which was a local publisher. They were translating them in French and publishing them in black and white. And they had, back then, the American comics were about 17 pages long. And due to the printing process, they had quite a few pages that were available inside the comics for different things. So they would publish little extra short stories they would get from Marvel that were not related necessarily to the main title, and they would publish ads or readers' letters and things like that. They had an artist at some point that actually did a whole series of classes to show how to make your own comics. He would he would do like 4 pages inserts or two pages or 4 pages inserts of different topics, like like how to create your characters, human anatomy, like the proportions and perspective with 2 and 3 points of vanishing points.
Like how to draw comics the Marvel way sort of thing, right?
Yeah, sort of. And like giving all the steps, how to make it look in black and white as if it's a daytime or nighttime. And
cool.
Like shadows and proportions and compositions. And I really followed those. They were very well done. After a while, they offered to give some advice to readers who wanted to try their hand at making comics. And that's how I started. I sent them one, then they responded. I followed their advice. I made the second one, try to improve based on the advice they gave me. Send it again. They sent me some more advice. And then by the time I sent the third one, decided to publish it. They said, you know what, it's good enough and we have space, so we'll publish it. The first one I did was Stranox, the very first story of Stranox. So between 1983 and 1985, I did about 5 stories of Stranox.
Wow.
And I also created the Delta Squadron back then in 83. And did about, I had time to do about 4 stories of Stranox. Man, they were stories. They were like maybe, how long were they normally? Well, I think the first story of Stranox was like 10 pages. But then after that, I would be doing about 8 pages. Sometimes they had to split them in 2 issues, but that's about, so I did 4 stories of one and 5 of the other. But then by 1995, comics, American comics, went up to 25 pages. And then the publisher decided to try color. But in printing, when they print like the comics, the size of the paper they use, they could print about 8 pages on each side. So that one booklet would be like 16 pages. So 3 of those would be 48 pages. So when they were 17 pages, they had a lot of room. Well, once the comics came up, they got up to 25 pages, then they didn't want to pay to have an extra booklet. So they actually had a couple of pages of double pages where they shrunk the page and put 2 on 1 page because they wanted the 50 page and a 48 page 3 booklet so that they wouldn't have to. And then they told me, well, we don't have any room anymore for your stories. So they said, well, we could help you make your own comic, but we're not paying. So you,
of course,
finance your own thing, but we'll show you how, like to do like like they gave me some advice on how to do the color separations. That's where I started doing color separations then. But I was also studying in commercial illustration, but I learned more like through them, like how to prepare that and they got me in touch with their distributor, so I had to sign a contract with their newsstand distributor, so that all the proceeds of the sales would go directly to the printer until all the printing costs were paid, and I had to place a deposit. So I put all my savings, and I was able to pay half the cost of the first one and half the cost of the second. And then anything I was earning, I was trying to put towards, paying a deposit to be able to afford to publish
to keep going. Yeah, to keep going. Yeah, because one thing that's like
at least back then they accepted. They let me like at least publish with a deposit. Once I did the Delta Squadron in '87 to pay everything before they shipped it to the distributor.
Right.
So that's why it took like 8 months before I was able to publish the second issue. But for I was able to keep going every second month. So I had a schedule to keep going, working on the next issue before while the previous issue was on the market. And so I kept going like that.
Let me butt in for a second. You because what's really interesting is when going through this book, which we will here momentarily, you'll see that you'll reference certain story points that happened earlier in these in these strips that you're talking about. Because for those that don't know out there, like these early Stranox and Delta Squadron strips would appear in like an X-Men comic that would come out in French in Quebec, or Daredevil or Star Wars. So these like the actual Star Wars comic, which is pretty cool. So those things would come out, and then you'd see your stories in those issues for the French speaking market, which is really interesting. So then flash forward, you kind of continue these stories in your own self-published version, with this publisher that you partnered with, which we did talk about on the other video. So and that was a fascinating just story how that all came together as well. But I think we should just get into the comic because we have a lot to get through on this, and it's amazing right out of the gate. So what I'm going to do, Andre, how I'm going to do this is since this is our first digital comic we're looking at, because we don't want to look at necessarily the French, I have the PDF here. So now we're switching to PDF mode, and then I'm going to try and read the new translation on my iPad. So it's a little bit of a process here. But talk to us about this cover. I mean, these covers are so incredible to Phoenix. I mean, again, you talked about how you were doing color separations. I mean, it wasn't the easiest thing to do in the world, and you don't see a lot of power comics, or the ones we look at, have such advanced, color separation work on their covers. So, I mean, but just like this whole design and Phoenix, the idea of Phoenix, that's kind of not really part of the story. Is that just a brand you came up with for this?
Well, it's just the idea that I like mythology and stuff, and the idea was that since they could no longer publish my comics in their own publications, so it was like the death of my old projects. And then I took the name Phoenix as the name of the like sort of the comic magazine, because I said, well, it's like I'm being reborn from my ashes.
Ah, right.
The
Perfect.
ashes of the stories that were published in those those French translated comics to
Right.
my own comics, so that I could keep doing
That's awesome.
with those characters. So
Yeah, it adds such an amazing
rebirth.
level to it. It's like, because you could have just called it Stranox with, and also the story, Delta Squadron, but it's like Phoenix. What the? I remember when we first saw this, because what I could piece together, I was like, okay, this is Stranox, and then I see Delta, but like, what is Phoenix?
Yeah.
And then I think I kind of
It's just
realized
the name
that
of the magazine.
right.
It's like,
I realized it, but it's very smart, very
But I
interesting.
also thought, like, at first, I thought it's also like, whoa, is there a fucking, like, is like a phoenix, like an actual phoenix, the main character in a story that has the skeleton dude with the light sword, and like that's really crazy. But it's not. But that's what I thought. But still, it's just as cool.
The idea too was that eventually, like, I was hoping that it would last longer, and that maybe at some point I would want to do a different series, or maybe stop one for a while and try a new one, and they could all fall under the Phoenix banner.
Yeah,
that's
great.
Cool. I love it. Or like it become Phoenix Comics or something, maybe, perhaps.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's look at the first page. I'm going to zoom it in just a little bit, just so you guys can see the art a little closer. So here's the opening splash page, and the first story in all of the Phoenix issues is on Stranox. So the idea of Stranox, already those corridors are something straight out of Star Wars. You see them in the Death Star in the opening. That's definitely what you're being influenced by here, right? I mean,
oh yeah, big time.
big time. Yeah, but awesome, just right out of the gate. I mean, what an epic shot, it's awesome. I mean, you can just see and the different textures that. So are you using screen tone as well for these under? Like
all the grays that look like they were screen transfers from Letraset. So I would have to place, like, it was stick on one side, so you'd stick on top of my art, and then I would cut with an X-Acto carefully and remove very carefully the sections I didn't want to cover, so it wouldn't pull the ink off the paper, and then leave the area that I just left cut where I wanted it to have a gray texture. So that's something I learned in commercial illustration. We used a lot some of those that I figured, oh well, I could use that for my comics, so it look a lot nicer than trying to do it by hand, or like do hands and stuff. Because I did that in the comics that I did at Edition Heritage, was all pen and ink and a bit of brush. I started to use the brush more as I went, but I used that Letraset screen transfers for the Phoenix.
Yeah, it's amazing. And also, Remy points out the title design for Stranox too is awesome. Definitely love that too. All right, let's get to the first page here. So here we go. Let me try to resize that just a little bit so we can see. It's a little awkward. You can tell I'm looking at a PDF here. So okay. So first page, we have a ship landing in this corridor here, and the second panel straight out of Star Wars. You got the cease and desist letters arriving at the end of the show. No, it's great.
The next panel, holy shit. Come on.
Yeah.
Pure Andre.
Oh. It is. Yeah. I also love how you're using, how you can really, on that fourth panel, you can really see how you're using that technique, the brush technique to make the floor reflective. Because Star Wars, in those moments in the Death Star, when they come off of the ship, the floor is that same shiny finish, know? But it's great here that you really can. I mean, that's coming through really strong in that panel, which is awesome. So this character in the front here, with the skull face, that character's name is what again?
L'Empereur des Ténèbres, so Emperor of Darkness. So
That's
it's like
right.
a Skeletor and Emperor Palpatine. So
It's amazing. Amazing.
Emperor Skeletor, if you want.
Emperor Skeletor.
Perfect.
Emperor of Darkness, like a big bad guys, the leader of all these, that empire.
Yeah, and I love how there's like this floating demon too. That's by them.
That was an influence, I think, from a character in Dungeons and Dragons cartoon from the 80s.
Oh yeah.
I think like the big bad guy was Venger, and he had like a servant that was like a shadowy, ghostly type character, and I thought that was neat, and I wanted to create myself something like that, but maybe a bit more like demonic with horns or something.
You got all the right influences going into this for sure. Okay, so the guard on the left says, "I don't understand, Master. Why are we giving so much importance to the elimination of Stranox? Is it Stranox? Stranox?
Stranox. Well, in French I'd say Stranox, but in English, whichever, like Stranox, Stranox, Stranox maybe.
Okay, Stranox.
And did you recognize the influence for that character, like the guy that's talking? Like, it's kind of. I wanted a character that's a bit like Darth Vader-ish, but I actually had an action figure from a robot from the Disney Black Hole movie from the 80s. And I had the black one, and I said, well, that looks cool for the helmet. So I kind of used the model to create that character.
That's what it is. It's like I think Jason Eisner said it in your induction speech, as he said that you're reading your comics is like opening up a toy box of action figures, and that whole world coming to life. 100% is here. So then the Emperor of Darkness here says, Stranox defeated my plans several times. His exploits give hope to small rebel groups that threaten the stability of my empire. And of course, this is kind of a live proofread session, so if we find any updates here, throw them in the chat, because we can always change it. And then the Emperor here says, Stranox showed them it's possible to successfully fight me. That encourages them to stubbornly oppose my reign. I'll use Stranox as an example. And then the second to last panel here. I will destroy him and his planet. Every hope these rebels have, will die that way. I'll show once and for all that no one defies the Emperor of Darkness with impunity. And then everyone in position, let's strike. Great ship shot there too. Right.
Ship shot. Great ship shot.
Great ship shot.
Great design. Great perspective. Just amazing. Incredible.
Epic. It all works. All right, let's go to the next page. These are the types of pages, Andre, where I'm like, wow, I got a lot of dialogue to replace. Yeah. All right, so first panel, getting close to, is it Zima, I guess. Zima? Yeah, getting close to Zima.
Come up with names for planets.
Now, this I want to understand more. Getting close to Zima, the float tries to stop the Emperor's giant warship progress. So, okay.
Did you not correct? It was fleet, right?
There we go.
Maybe. Okay, there's the first one. Ding, ding. First typo. Typo.
I told you. I sent you the email about it. It's fleet. It's not float.
Raimi,
shame.
It's not a carnival float. It's a fleet.
That's also Raimi shame, too, because he put float in the translation document, but I was like, I don't know what a float is, but maybe it's just, I don't know. Nope. But yeah.
A fleet.
Even weirder. Turns it into like a Mobius or, Mobius comic or something.
Maybe I don't have the final version.
Well, you know what? In French, you say une flotte de vaisseau, like a fleet of ships, like a battleships.
Right.
But flotte is also from flotter, which is float.
So maybe there you go. So yeah, shame on you. All right, let's get.
I use the proper term, but it's just that maybe the meaning got lost in translation.
I got you. So okay, yeah. So the fleet tries to stop the Emperor's giant warship progress. God damn! None of our strikes reach their target. Their deflection field is too powerful for our weapons. But every strike of the Emperor of Darkness's super cruiser destroys a Zimian battleship. Yeah. Raimi says he mixed up French and English. Yep, there you go. The situation is critical. Almost half of the fleet, there it is, it says fleet there. Half of the fleet has been destroyed. A small jet could avoid their defense, land on their ship, and then get inside to sabotage their propulsion system by overheating it. Let's hope it will succeed. And then another great ship shot there. Yeah, man. I mean, you definitely got the vehicles down pat on these pages.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. All right. Their turbo lasers are not made for small targets. No need to bother us with your useless comments, Z507. Now, Z507 is your kind of robot character. Your R2D2, right?
Yep.
Who's also positioned exactly where R2D2 is on the X-Wing. Of course, then you get no credit for avoiding them, fat lizard. My name is... Okay, help me. Serb, I guess. Serb. You clink of circuit boards. So same kind of humor-esque Star Wars humor. Peace, you two. We have a mission to accomplish. The cannon stopped shooting because an interceptor has just been sent out. So there we go. Action. Full of action on that page. Looking great, though.
So good.
All right, next panel here. Yeah, this is all great. Without missing a beat, Stranox gets on the rotating cannons. So he got those blasters too. Love it. And then Serb, get as close to the reactors as you can before landing. And then the ship then lands now onto the super battleship, and it looks like he's entering now the ship here on the 6th panel, which looks awesome. Love that. Again, the shiny floor and everything.
Oh my god.
And Zipatone up the yin yang too, like tons of. I love it. Yeah. Okay, so then, but this is where we get our first glimpse of the robot, which is a floating kind of head. Right? Like that's kind of your take on that character, right?
Well, there's also influence from like I was watching a lot of cartoons. There was a European cartoon that was was it Capitaine Flamme? And it was like I'm not sure it was. Well, I was watching it in French, but I think it was anime, but I'm not sure. It was back in the 80s, and they had like Professor Simon. It's like Professor Simon was like basically a brain, like a little robot that was floating. So I figured, okay, I have a robot. I won't put the brain in it. It's going to be a full robot.
That's cool.
The thing flying around, I figured, was convenient and compact, and didn't get bothered by staircases and stuff. So okay.
You have you have Remy in the chat saying yes, Captain Flamme.
Captain Flamme.
Captain Flamme. Okay.
He's like crying.
Yes. Okay, and then sorry, his name again is Z5. Okay, Z507 says, according to my detector, the machine room is far away. We'll need transportation. And then Straya, who's the female character, Straya, you're driving. Z507, guide us through this maze of corridors. Again, another vehicle. Getting off of one vehicle, going into the next. It's awesome. So here's like the main Stranox crew, right? I mean, these are the rebels. Yeah.
Dude, so good. That last panel.
The flying car, I based it on like an old toy my brother had. He had like this electric little car toy that was, of course, when I got it, his toys, they were broken. So I removed the engine, the motor and the wheels, and I put like the pieces of an old Mazinger Grandizer Z plastic figure that I had. Was called Goldorak in French. So I had one of those, and then it was old and beat up, like the torso, and put it under the car shell, because after I removed the engine, there was nothing. I wanted it to be a bit like a land speeder. So I wanted something underneath. So I actually made the thing with old toys. I drew from that.
Wow.
I think I put picture in subsequent issues of Phoenix. So yeah, there should be some pictures in maybe issue 4 or 3, maybe 4. Not sure that I have the model of that car that I used, and then I drew from that bash thing.
That's so cool. That's amazing. Is that something you typically do? Would you make the vehicle and then use that as like a reference?
Well, in this case, yes, and the speeder bikes too. Like I had like a couple of cheap figures from motorcycles, and they were already seating like they were on a motorcycle. And I picked up like an old jet fighter model kit that was banged up, and I removed the engines. And I figured that I'd use like the jet engine of the model kit, like and sit the figure on top and add like handle and a couple of bits to look a bit like a speeder bike, like in Return of the Jedi. Yeah. And I used that like as a model for drawing, and I took a couple of pictures and put them in use of Phoenix.
That's amazing.
So, like, for those things I did, but most of it I had to create as I went. But occasionally I'd come up with something that I could use physically as a model for drawing. For fun, and take pictures and use those too in the comic sometimes. And
sweet.
So occasionally, depending on the resources I had on hand.
Right on. All right, getting back to it here again. Yeah, major Return of the Jedi influence with these kind of Endor speeders here, is what it looks like. Seems like we got company, but they weren't invited. Stop joking around, Zerb. They must not stop us. Otherwise, it's all over. And then with my electronic scope, it's a piece of cake. And then awesome, that panel beneath that with the guy being shot at. It's awesome. Love that. The beam ricochets against the armor, but doesn't weaken the impact of the shot. And then Stranox, are you okay? A little shaken, but I'll be okay. And that's kind of the first time where I'm identifying with who Stranox is and what he looks like in that panel. And to me, it's like I'm thinking G.I. Joe for sure on him, which is not what you'd think with the Star Wars environment we're in. So that's where like the mashup is really coming in, which is awesome. You know. And then on my mark,
the helmet of the first helmet of Stranox, I think, was influenced by the first mask of Snake Eyes in the old comics, like the very first action figure they made. He had like a mask. He had like the visors, visors, like they were goggles, sort of. And then I made the helmet of Stranox based on that look. And the rest of the outfit was inspired by Boba Fett, because I thought it was really cool to have like some parts of armor plating on him. Yeah, these gauntlets with gadgets on them and a jetpack and stuff. So I wanted a good guy to have that, not just a bounty hunter.
The more we go through this, the more I'm feeling good about the Bib Fortuna choice. The more we go on. On my mark, make a sudden turn. No! Another great page. All right, let's go on to the next. This is great, too.
Wow.
Great action there, as you can see. Love it. Those brush strokes, too, are awesome, and the ink there. And just check out how that corridor is looking, man. I mean, we've done the top 10 power control rooms video where we looked at our favorite control rooms from all of Power Comics. I don't think we had Phoenix at that point, right, Gabe?
No. Clearly we didn't.
Yeah, clearly we didn't.
Because if we did, it would be in.
Yeah, for sure. Straya and Z507, take care of the reactor. Zerb and myself will deal with the guards. And this sort of echoes to me a little bit of the scene from A New Hope where they're, going in to release Luke from the jail cell. A little bit, I think, is kind of where it echoes for me a teeny bit. Love a lizard character. Have to say, love a lizard-faced character. Bosk. All that shit. Like, it's great.
Yeah,
gotta have.
Oh yeah, I love Bosk. I wish I did put more of him in the movie, but I love dinosaurs, so I always love dinosaurs. So aliens with like a lizard head, like it was like the first I'd seen something along those lines was the old Star Trek show with the Gorn, like when Kirk fights like this lizard guy on the desert. planet. So, and then I
Of course.
wanted the character like that, but I wanted to have him like a tail, like a dinosaur.
He's kind of like
So
the first real anthropomorphic lizard guy, right? Like he's an early one. I feel like the Star Trek one. All right. So, do you think they'll come? If I know the Emperor of Darkness, they'll be here in less than a minute. And then Straya says, we must begin by disconnecting the reactor's secret security system. And then now this floating demon thing, which is just another awesome element to this world. Master, it's them, Straynox and his team. They're in the machine room. Straynox here? Send backups immediately and take them out. Love that last panel, right? I mean, just perfect. So let's go to the next. Boom.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Total blitzkrieg here. Awesome stuff. Not taking a break on any of the backgrounds either in these panels too, which I love. We must hold them for as long as possible. And then now he's pulling a gun out of a holster here on panel 3.
what?
What's happening in panel 3?
Some guards are sneaking up into the ventilation system. Usually, you just guys doing that. This time around, I figured I'd put some bad guys thinking about that.
Cool. Amazing. Hold them back while I activate the electric current. And then, of course, the electric current panel is amazing. It's done. We just left the reactor. And there's a good shot, too, behind Straya. You get to see more of God, I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. Z507?
Z507, yeah.
Yeah, Z5, we'll call him. In less than 15 minutes, everything will blow up. So then the reactor is about to blow.
Oh, boy. Straya's due. My God. Look at that hair.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Yeah. Amazing. Any sort of reference point for her as a character? Andre?
I think the hair actually was the hair due that the Scarlet Witch had in the Avengers in the very early comics.
Whoa.
Her hairdo on that.
That's amazing.
That's actually a question I had for you. I don't think we talked about it in the last video, but what were your comic book influences? Because a lot of the influences you talked about are action figures, cartoons, TV shows, movies. What comic books influenced you? Are there any?
Yes, there were quite a few comics I was following at the time. So there was a bunch of Marvel comics that was following, but there were also more or less comics that I fall on that by accident. There's one I remember that was a space type of comics. I don't even remember if it was DC or Marvel actually. And it seemed that when I started reading those comics, there was a backstory that the dad published, that had made other stories where a galaxy explodes and the hero managed to escape, and then he was now in another galaxy, and he had a group with him to fight. There was this world where they had an intergalactic monarchy and battling an intergalactic religious group. And so you had the religious empire against a big monarchy empire, and they were rebels, and he had a woman that was a cyber psychic or something.
Star Raiders? Was it Star Raiders?
How did you call it?
Someone in the chat says Star Raiders. Does that sound familiar?
Maybe.
I
know the woman could be a telepath, but with robots and machines.
Well,
whoa, cool.
And he had a sidekick that was the guy who had the face of a cat, and I made a cat that was influenced by that. It was
wow! Someone guy. Find that. Someone find that what that is. And put it in the
I
chat.
Can't remember the title.
Yeah.
I lost the comic. I didn't keep the comic for decades.
But were you? But
there was another.
were you influenced by like traditional artists? Like, were you influenced by Jack Kirby or Jim Steranko or any of those guys, or not really?
Not directly. Like I know,
Wow.
like there was an artist. That worked on Empire Strikes Back, the comic adaptation. I really admired the style. I think was it Stevenson? I'm not sure. I forget the names after so long because I haven't kept the comics.
Oh,
But he did.
sorry, Andre, was it Dreadstar?
Oh yes, I think it was Dreadstar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Nice.
Jim
Yeah.
Starlin's Dreadstar. Yeah, great series he did. Kind of
Yeah.
was it for Epic or something after his Marvel days? But yeah, awesome series. That makes total sense
Yeah.
that you'd be influenced by
Yeah,
Dreadstar.
yeah. And there was also a series I followed for about a year. Was Warlord, American fighter pilot that ends up in Hollow Earth. You know, like concept about Hollow Earth and like inside the Earth, and then you got like Atlantis that actually survived there, and they're riding dinosaurs, and there's like a dictatorship, and he's fighting them, and he's got a bunch of rebels with him, and then there was a story arc for about a year where they had like in that world like bad guys riding dinosaurs and like a bit like Roman Empire type, and then they had also like ninjas, but they were like
Wow.
Iraq type ninjas. They were like Vashik assassins, but it was cool.
That definitely
And that's
sounds
where
like
I created my Vactais, my space ninjas Vactais.
we're gonna get to
That
those. We're gonna get to
Yeah.
those.
No,
All
but
right,
I
let's.
made mine good guys, and those were like the evil Vashik assassins working for a demon and something in the
That's
comic.
awesome.
Big, an influence back then.
Well,
with
let's keep the
other,
ball rolling here because we got.
reading a lot of things.
We're only on page 10, Andre, and we're an hour into the show. So, all right.
Sorry.
All right. So here we go. We must go out with a bang and as quickly as possible before they react, and then cue awesome Miami Vice speedboat here, which I love design. Less than 5 minutes now.
Oh, that's the toy car that actually had. Yeah, it was shaped like that.
I love how it looks. Yeah, it's great. While the gigantic ship's evacuation is underway, the Emperor of Darkness escapes in his craft. So he escapes there. Stranox and his team as well. The craft is getting away. We must catch it. The Emperor is inside. How do you know? And then, of course, here we go. A reference to a force-like thing between them. I can feel it. So, awesome. All right, next page. Oh, wait, sorry, hold on. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. So now they are all escaping the exploding ship. He's going to jump into hyperspace. We'll lose him. Not for long. Thanks to this tracker, we'll be able to find his location when he'll come out of the hyperspace jump. And love that. 3 hours later. Is that 3 hours of hyperspace later? That's pretty epic. Yeah. And then Zerb here. I've got him. He's on the third planet of the Delvian system. Then let's go. Then they speed away into that, and the magnetic field's intensity has been lowered like an invitation. It's probably a trap from the Emperor himself. He doesn't say that.
That panel is so wild.
The last one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rendering of the planet is really interesting, man.
Well, there's a lot of screen tone going on in those panel of different varying types. It's great. All right, keep it moving here. Oh, I mean, we Andre, we had a what was it? Was it layers? We had power layers.
Yeah.
We had a list of a top 10 power layers / control rooms in all the comics we have here on the channel, and this definitely, the design of this layer made it into the top 10. So for sure, gotta love it for all the reasons here. The more you look at it, the more there is to discover there in the kind of zebra print, pads or whatever on the outer, the gargoyle, the snake heads I guess if we want to call that. I mean, it's a pretty wild design. Was there anything that inspired that specifically? That design?
Maybe not specifically, but like I was watching a lot of Thunder the Barbarian and Dungeons and Dragons, like Saturday morning cartoons, like, and you know that I was reading, you know, the Savage Sword of Conan and King Cole magazine and stuff like that. So that's probably, and you know, and collecting, you know, Masters of the Universe figures, and you know they had the Castle Grayskull, and what was the name of the of Skeletor's castle with snakes.
Oh man, that's
more. He had a castle too, but with snakes instead of skulls.
Someone will call it out in the chat. I wasn't as big as the He-Man guy as others were, but I was more of a G.I. Joe guy for sure.
Well, I was G.I. Joe 2 first, but
I know you had it all.
So I had a bunch of I had a bit of everything. So I had castle. Well, I thought it was a great design for a castle.
Oh, incredible. I don't like it. It's too quiet. My God, I don't believe my eyes. It's huge. Awesome layer there. These doors must be at least 50 feet high. They must weigh hundreds of tons. How can we open them? The statues, they're turning into real monsters. And that's just amazing. Love that. And then we learn that they have these gems embedded in their forehead, which is super cool. All right, let's go to the next page. Awesome design on that. Love it.
God, look at that. Ooh.
Yeah, it's awesome. Especially that last panel there. Snake Mountain. Of course, Snake Mountain is what we were looking for.
Oh, Snake Mountain. Yeah.
Of course. Thank you, John. Our laser weapons have no effect on these monsters. Neither does my laser sword. Although they must have a weakness. They're crystal. And then you see the crystal there embedded in the forehead. Oh no, Straya! And then he throws the laser sword right into the crystal. I mean, that's amazing. Anytime a laser's going into a crystal, you know,
to kill something.
To kill something, you're on the right path creatively. Yeah. John, not only less for Evan to read, but also less for Evan to retype. Retranslate.
Right.
Okay. Next page. The doors open by themselves. That's a cool page too. Wow, or a cool panel. Stay on your guard. But before Stranox can react, a door separates him from his friends. Now, think about this, guys. We are only on page 12 of this comic. And we've already been in like so many different environments, fought so many battles, you know? It's like you're taking the reader in a very fast, like I can appreciate the pace, and I mean, yeah, this could have been a whole 2 issues by now, and we're on page 12, so it's pretty awesome. Okay, so before Stranox can react, a door separates him from his friends. Okay, here we go, squaring off now with the Emperor. I underestimated you, Stranox. Now you have no chance, as you must face off against me. Nothing can save you now. Awesome, yeah. Emperor-like effects there. The pain. Unbearable, but I must think that sphere's intensity increases when the Emperor uses his power. Prepare to die, Stranox. Great last panel. Awesome. All right. Here we go. Page 13. How many pages are these each?
It was a 32-page comic, yeah. So each issue, each story had 15 pages, and I kept a couple of pages in the middle, either for pin-up arts or for
your letter section or your ninja pictures.
Yeah, or just to introduce, like often I had like a page where I was talking about the project or introduce myself. Yeah.
Which we'll see. We must find Stranox fast. He's in danger. I can feel it over there. These shadows. Love that. Love that first panel actually. I love the shadows and the screen tone room. It's awesome.
It's the most power comic panel, I think, of the whole comic.
Agreed. The Emperor's Royal Guard. Zerb here. These guys are no match for a reptile or for a reptilian's strength. Stop boasting. You're damaging my auditory circuits, says Z5. Hurry up. We must go help Stranox. I must protect myself from these thunderbolts here. And then, wow, this last panel. That sphere has something to do with his powers. Therefore, I must distract him to do it. And that's cool. Again, yes, powers coming from spheres, laser swords going into crystals. It's all perfect. And, okay, second to last, I think, page. Yep, for this story. No! For centuries, the Emperor of Darkness had been imprisoning the souls of those who opposed his will inside the crystal sphere. So it even gets better than that. Souls are stored inside that crystal sphere. He could then steal their psychic energy as he wished. And without knowing it, Stranox freed them. They've had only one thought all those centuries imprisoned. Vengeance. And how amazing is that? The souls are released to now attack. I mean, was there something influencing that specific concept? I mean, because that's a pretty original.
It's biblical. The Bible.
No.
I think there might have been a story along those lines in some cartoons I saw, like either in Thundar the Barbarian or Dungeons and Dragons, like something about like souls being kept prisoner in something. You break the object.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
And in this case, I just figured that that'd be a whole bunch of them because he'd take them prisoner and use their energy again, to do
it's amazing.
Evil. Then if they're freed, well, then they can, it's payback time,
That's awesome. Great panel. All right, last panel wrapping up the Stranox story. Thank God you're all alive and well. Thank God you're all alive and well. Sorry, there's a period there. I don't really understand what's happening, but we better go. And that's just a wild, chaotic panel there. And of course, man, our favorite layer is collapsing. And Stranox says, if those ethereal beings that got out of the sphere didn't destroy the Emperor of Darkness, the collapse must have finished him. And Straya says, I hope it's the last time we'll hear about this sinister character. And then, unfortunately, the Emperor of Darkness is tough. The end? So, there's the end of the first chapter of the Stranox story. Awesome. Again, just it delivers on all fronts, right? I mean, you're getting so much for your $1.25 in that first story. And then of course you got to have a ninja, you got to have Andre as dressed up as a ninja cosplay interlude.
That was my build. That was my build up towards my future movies.
That's right. Yeah. And if you have not seen clips from Andre's Ninja Flicks, you got to go back to the last time we had him on the channel and look at his amazing films that he made, DIY style. They're awesome, and we're gonna have them up on the website once we finish this Phoenix translation as well. But here's a little taste of that.
Yeah, because there was a big influence from G.I. Joe and all those ninja movies from the 80s, like Revenge of the Ninja and Ninja 3: The Domination and all of that stuff. So
the
that
Domination. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. And then, of course, you also show us a kind of little backstory, and that's you there in the bottom. How old are you in that picture?
19.
19. Wow. So you're drawing all this at 19. Wow. Let that sink in, folks.
That's insane.
Wow. That is insane. So let me just speed read this here. This is your letter here to the readers, the definitely the equivalent to the Power Comics intro letter. Hello, I am the author, illustrator, and creator of the Phoenix magazine. Here are a few things about me to answer some questions. Let's start at the beginning, if that's okay with you. I was born April 2nd, 1966, at around 7:45 p.m. Now that's accurate, huh? After high school, I studied 2 years in an advertising graphics school. The first year was very useful as I learned different methods of the job and how to use different types of mediums. During that second year, though, I understood I understood that what I was really interested in was comic books. At the same time, during those 2 years, I took intensive correspondence drawing classes from an art instruction school in the United States and got my comics published by Heritage Editions, mostly in their Star Wars and X-Men magazines, and in collaboration with an editor named Mr. Robert St. Martin, whom I do want to thank for all of his help. Since I was a child, I've always been drawn to drawing, but I started taking serious interest in comic books at the beginning of the 80s. From that moment on, I really put on a lot of effort into developing this talent in order to be where I am today. Now let's talk about this issue. Its name, as you can tell, has nothing to do with the titles of the 2 stories within its pages. So there you go. If this comic book works, well, other titles might join its lineup, and just like others might get temporarily sidelined. But the name of the comic book shall stay the same. I chose Phoenix as the title because it represents the bird of fire, being reborn from its ashes as no other Quebecois comic book ever survived to this day. So whether this comic book is a success or a failure depends largely on you, dear readers. No pressure. That's great. Love that. Love that you included all that too. It's amazing. 19, absolutely insane. All right, now let's get to this is it, man. This is the first bits at least from what I've read. I haven't seen any of the X-Men or the Star Wars comics, but this is the first Delta Squadron stuff that I'd ever, in chronologically seen. So here we go. I want to track down some of those Heritage editions of your stuff. Do you have any of those, Andre?
I only kept like one copy.
Should try and find them somewhere.
Preciously stored in bags in the container, but that's the only copy I have. So I have one set and I keep that for my kids. So.
Of course, no, I'm not trying to pry them from your hands or anything. We'll definitely
just like, those were published by the Edition Heritage, so I had to buy them like if I wanted a few copies. So I didn't have many. I only had like 1 or 2 that I bought for my own.
That's awesome. Maybe send me an email with what the issue numbers are, and I'll try and track them down. Somehow.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Ninja time. Ninja alert. I know a lot of people have been waiting for some ninjas. They're coming up shortly here. So here we go. Delta Squadron. Right off the top here, we have this gentleman on the phone. The refinery is under a terrorist attack. Send help quick. All right, great splash page there too. Love it, right, Gabe?
I'm speechless, man.
You really are.
It's so fun getting the context here because it basically reads perfectly in a language that I don't understand, but it's amazing getting that Andre dialogue in here. I love it.
Totally. The Canadian Army reacts quickly, but Varan is well equipped, and such a direct attack is destined to fail. Meanwhile, at the Nova Research Center, love that. So thwarting the attack. Thanks to the exoskeleton system, we will be able to multiply the Canadian Army's arms efficiency for the next space flights. Look out the window, Robert. That's smoke and, oh my God, a double Zeppelin. Varan is attacking the refinery. We must warn the rest of the squadron. And so is that them flying off there? No, that's somebody else. Right?
No, that's them. They have like costumes. Like that was influenced by Alpha Flight.
Alpha Fleet,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, that was like a Marvel Comics with a team of Canadian superheroes.
Like Canadian X-Men, yeah, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, so like those two were like influenced by like what was the main character was Guardian, I think, and the female was like there was one that was called Aurora.
Remember. Yeah,
was the influence for those two characters from
awesome.
Alpha Flight.
Right.
Yeah.
Delta Squadron, emergency alert. An East Montreal refinery is being attacked by Varan. Okay. When I saw this page, I was like, oh boy. But an awesome layout. I mean, just, the 15-panel layout. It's pretty epic. All right, I won't be able to pronounce this. I'm sorry. In a Trois Rivières, help me.
Trois Rivières. It's Three Rivers.
Three Rivers. Aerodome.
It means that's the name of the city. So I guess there's 3 rivers there, so they called it Trois Rivières.
Okay, in the Three Rivers Aerodome. Okay, I can't pronounce this either. From here to Chiotimi?
Chicoutimi. Like it's from First Nation
Right.
name in the region, so they named
It's
the
like
city
right.
based on the original First Nation name, Chicoutimi. So there's several cities in Quebec province that are like
First Nations. Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Right. So so that's about 250 kilometers, and then gosh, that's the signal. Hey, where are you going? I must go to Chicoutimi.
Chicoutimi.
Chicoutimi. Good thing I kept my costume on under my clothes. Emergency alert. A refinery is being attacked by Varan in East Montreal. Inside the daily newspaper offices in Saint Jerome. It's quiet these days. No major events. Boss, a terrorist allegedly attacked a refinery. Stephanie, I need you to cover. Hey, where is she now? And then Stephanie breaks out. Love that panel there. Number 9. That's awesome. And then what is bib? What does that translate to?
What?
BIB?
Panel number 10.
Yeah, panel number 10, and also you have it on panel number 2 as the
I
action
can't
word.
see it. It's too small for me to look at it.
It's just bib exclamation point. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's BIB
it's-
exclamation point. Yeah.
Oh,
Somebody-
bip.
Yeah.
I think it's just like what it's like the phone sound effect or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow, we don't have that here. That's good. Bib Fortuna. It's Bib Fortuna. How did I not figure that out? Okay, that's that's perfect. Bib Fortuna. Holy shit! How did I not think of that? Bib Varan launched an attack in East Montreal. Meanwhile, in the Mont Tremblant.
Mont Tremblant. Yes, it's a trembling mountain.
That's right.
The mountain was trembling, but they called it Mont Tremblant.
It's very regional story here.
Yep.
We must raise awareness. Campers are way too careless. Is that your alarm watch? Yes, that's it. It's reminding me of an important meeting. Emergency alert, Varan. East Montreal is quite far away. I'll have to find a faster transportation. So all these characters are getting ready to get to the refinery to thwart the attack. Everyone's assembling.
Yeah, because by then that was like I had made 4 stories of Delta Squadron in the comics by Edition Héritage by then. So that was like the 5th story.
Gotcha.
Technically, and they already knew each other and were a team already by then, because they'd meet up like in those earlier stories. But by here, they're already teamed up, and so even though I was showing them separately, they were all in contact with each other with like radios and stuff.
Awesome. I think this is the next page, right? Yeah. All right, right here with another great layout. Love this layout too. Going to 5, 2, and 3. That's great. Emergency alert, Delta Squadron. In East Montreal, Varan has launched an attack on a refinery. He already spots the fire. And then here we go. Ninja alert, everyone. Here we go. Looking through the bushes there. This hose
So
is
good.
connected. It's amazing. This hose is connected. Activate the pump. Not so fast, Varan. Pulverize them with the bazooka. Again, another great, interesting mixture of screen tone here for this locale. But it works. And then I love that last panel. It's dope. Right? Yeah.
What? I didn't.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
He's just drooling. He's just bibbing over that panel.
Bibbin. Bib Fortuna. Okay. Yeah, right. Colin, you're right. Yes. Hey, I know you. You're part of the Delta Squadron. We owe you big time. But these terrorists must be stopped before anything else. No problem. That's what we're here for. We must stop them from stealing gas. Gas stealers. Out of reach from the Flying Fortress cannons, the F-18 can focus on Varan's jets. The Canadian Army's F-15 are taking care of the jets. I'm outgunned. Then let me take care of the choppers. So then we got in there another no problem drawing that there on panel 6. And then quick, fill up the tank before we get noticed. But it's already too late for them because nothing can go undetected by a ninja. Awesome. Very complex scene here with tons of characters and action happening, but it's definitely tracking. Delta Squadron meeting up against the terrorist group, and it's great. So, moving on here. Yeah, this is great. I love the second panel too. It's just like it's great. I love the floor. I love the way you do those floors. It really adds to the I don't know, just the fact that this is a very military sort of operation. All right, inside the Air Force Commander's flying fortress. Horsefly. All the Delta Squadron members have been spotted. Good. Then we act according to plan. So now the second character there on the right in this first panel, he's his name is what again? He's Horsefly because he.
Yeah, well, in French it's Tom, but it's Taon, but that doesn't translate well. But I guess yes, I guess it translates to horsefly.
Oh, really? Is that a mistake?
About an English name for him.
Oh, maybe we should change
it.
that. Yeah, I like Horsefly, but he's in the Delta Squadron comics proper though, right? Like he's in. Did he show up
The
in
crew?
the Delta Squadron? Yeah,
No, that's the one with the wings and the jetpack.
Yeah.
So that one is in there. It's the commander maybe. Oh, maybe I have to look at it again. I know I had a few of those characters in the Delta Squadron in '87 and '88. I remember which ones in exactly.
Raimi
the
says
ones that survive at the end, I guess, because by number 5, some of them die. So I guess the ones that were alive, they made it to the American version of Delta Squadron later on.
Yeah, Raimi says here, I translated to horsefly, figured Taon wouldn't feel right in English. So liberties of the translator there. There is an artistry to translation, guys. All right, Gamma Commando, you know your orders. It's now time to act. Eliminate Delta Squadron. Hail, Varan! Love that. Shark, I must leave for 48 hours. You're in charge of supervising operations while I'm away. At your service. The commander is going away for 48 hours like he does every month, but this time we'll know where he's going. Zendo, is the device still functioning? Of course. The miniature audio-visual transmitter I hid inside the commander's helmet will give us information without him knowing. Love this subplot. All right, help me with the pronunciation of this character as he's saying. Help me.
Carcajou. Carcajou in English is Wolverine.
Oh.
So I wasn't gonna. Yeah, I guess it was better to keep him his French name. I was just trying to find code names for characters and so but I wasn't thinking about the English. The names I would use, since I was using the French word, it didn't really matter. But of course, if you translate to English, that's Wolverine, and of course that's taken.
Wow. Of course it's taken.
It doesn't have claws. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Got it. All right. Carcajou. I checked. All the main terrorist group's leaders periodically disappear at the same time. That's too much of a coincidence. There has to be a link, and we'll soon find out what it is. I had a bad feeling someone or something is behind all of this. Okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm with her.
Wow. Intense page. Varan won't be able to steal any more gas. And the other squadron members are taking care of the terrorists on the ground. All right. You got a Kabam's Wrath.
Well, you got Blastor there. Do you recognize him?
Oh, there he is, right in the center. My eyes go straight to it. You can see his triple rocket launcher thighs. It's perfect. Love it. We've never been hit that hard. Gosh, what could have done that? This will be the first and last time you'll fight the Eliminator and the Destroyer. All right. The first and last time for you. Zwat. Bwam. Love it. Yeah, Blastor is great. He definitely needs his own spin-off, so I'm glad you're working on that. For sure. Yeah, the Heil definitely makes it feel like there is something shady going on. For sure. I thought the same thing. All right, next page. Damn, what just flew by me? It's probably a Varan jet. My plane, my plane, no match for it. The only chance I have. Gosh, I'm hit. Only chance left. I have to do a loop and shoot at the right time. Oh, sorry, I wrote this in the wrong order, right? It's supposed to go right.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's why it didn't make sense. It's probably a Varan jet. My plane, no match for it. The only chance I have is to stay low. He'll be forced to slow down. And then it's, gosh, I'm hit. Only chance left. I have to do a loop and shoot at the right time. Got him. But that won't stop him for long. This guy's knocked out the rest of the team. Run him over. Where is he? The roof. Love that. Oh no, the engine slicing right through the truck hood there. That's awesome shot. Dig it. Question here. It's coming for you, Andre, from Cole. Were you hanging out with any other Montreal comic artists while drawing this, or just or anything, or did you have any other comic book illustrating friends?
Back then, no, I was just starting. So, I was 19 years old. I didn't really knew anybody much. I made friends later on, like years later, in the local comic book scene in Montreal. But actually, I met some at the end. Like at some point, there was like a comic book related event in old Montreal in
Cool.
86. And I had finished, I was done. I had published the last video, and I showed up for it, and we were splitting a table for local artists, and that's how I met some of them in '86. Yeah. But awesome. By '85, I didn't really know anybody.
Gotcha. He pierced the gas tank. It'll blow up. Damn. And then here we go. That third panel is awesome. Yeah. Wham. Yeah, so much energy to all these panels, too. It's just awesome, the way and how this feels also very different than Stray Nox, too. Like, it does have a different energy, a different vibe to it. The strength of your exoskeleton armor could maybe defeat me if you could reach me, but I can destroy you from a distance. Zat. Your lasers are no match. Won't you ever learn? My God, Cyburn. Cyburn! And you can see Blastor there too in the background with all. It's a great shot of him too in the second to last panel. And it looks like Cyburn's gonna bite the dust here. Zrap! That's what I was waiting for. She dropped her magnetic field. Kazat. Celestia must activate my last missiles while he's busy. Celestia, and then here Blastor just empties them all there. He fires 6 missiles at once. That's incredible. I love it. Boom! Ha 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 ha. Great page. And go to the next here. But what the? Oh no! The magnetic field has short-circuited my lasers. They're overheating. Yarg! Dislocated shoulder, broken ribs too, and torn muscles. But I made it. Must use my last energy resources and return to the flying fortress. He made me get away from his machine gun, so now he can fire his missiles. I'm done. The finishing blow. More missiles. And then he launched his heat-seeking missiles. Must jump. Kaboom. Oh no, the harness is stuck and the parachute won't open. Just chaos of action here. Yeah, boom. Might be my favorite. Blastor is just blasting, for sure. Wow, here we go. This is good. Wow, love that wingspan silhouette there. That's cool.
That's a big influence of Condor Man from Disney.
Of course. Yeah, I can't do the translation on the sound effects, obviously, because it'd be getting too much into changing the art. So that's why you get boom. His parachute is not opening. He's going to crash. I must act fast. Meanwhile, in the north of Quebec, in Torgnat Mountains.
Torngats Mountains.
Yeah, near Ungava Bay, Varan headquarters. Carcajou, Countess, come quick. Zendo got the telecommunication waves. The commander has arrived at his destination. So, Zendo? It's like we thought. The main terrorist army leaders are here. Love that character, by the way. But who is that? Coming into the room, he seems more important. My God, no way. All right. The big reveal. Oh, now we're cutting back to the tanker. So cliffhanger there. Here comes the last tanker. It's your turn, feline, go. And then she unhooks the tanker there, which is awesome, from the truck as it's speeding down. Good job. They can't steal any more gas for their terrorist army. But where are you going now? We'll look around in case other terrorists have infiltrated. About 100 meters further. My God, no. It's Cyburn and Celestia. They're dead. And that's a big shocker here, because this first issue here has 2 main characters that get killed, which is insane. And then, of course, you'll be dead too. Once Serpent and Bonsai are done with you. And then here we go, man, right into that ninja clash. So this is what y'all been waiting for, and I mean it's awesome. I mean, you got to get it in here. And the second issue has some incredible ninja shit too, for sure. It's so great. Katang! You will fall under the samurai sword. You won't resist long. Now, ninja, you die. A samurai's training is very intense, is what it says. And I think this is our last page. Right? Yeah. But a ninja is even more. So, yeah, samurai versus ninja here in this epic confrontation, which I love. Ninjutsu goes over every form of martial art, not just swordsmanship. You haven't won yet, ninja. Right in the solar plexus, samurai can't help but bend down. His name is Samurai, right, in the story?
Yeah.
Yeah. It works. Hey, it works. And then he's done. Kakai. You have defeated Samurai. Good. Now you must face a ninja. I haven't forgotten our last encounter. And that's where you see there in that panel. It says X-Men 24 and 25. Yeah. So got to track those down to find these other Delta Squadron stories. I will finally have my revenge, because now you must face Thunderwind. And that's where we leave it off there in the first Delta Squadron story. Boom, boom.
Oh, yeah. And Thunderwind, the influence was an action figure, ninja action figures from Eagle Force. It was Savitar, the ninja, like a blue figure, and that was the influence for creating Thunderwind.
Thunderwind. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. And then, of course, got to just get a quick look at this back cover here. Hold on. Let's see if I can. Oh, here. Well, we've. There. Let me turn it off of this, and yeah, the back cover, of course, also awesome. The color separations you do on these are amazing, and all the Phoenix issues have incredible back covers, just as much as they do front covers, for sure. So there you have it, man. I mean, these comics are packed to the brim with action. I mean, I can't imagine. So how long would it take you to do like one of these Phoenix issues?
Oh boy. Well, I guess I did a page a day. So
wow, that's great.
That's really good.
Yeah. So like I would publish every 2 months, but it probably took me a good month and a half to get an issue ready, and then the rest was like I had to have it ready at least a couple of weeks before I wanted it distributed, because it took a couple of weeks for the printer to print it, and then you had distribution after that. So I was always working on the next issue, like even if it wasn't printed yet, while an issue was being printed, I was working on the next one. So be able to keep on top, you know.
Yeah, shout out to Rami on the translation there. I actually caught a few typos of my own that I need to update.
Merci beaucoup, Rami.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we will definitely make sure a float doesn't make it in the final version. But that was really the only major offense there. So excellent work. And issue 2 I've just submitted for you to see, Andre, and I'm starting to work on 3. So we're making our way through the official translation, so you guys will be able to enjoy these comics once and for all. But they're so excellent. Real quick before we sign off, I know we've been running a little long, but Andre, is there any drawings or sketches for the upcoming Blastor comic you want to show us?
Yep. Sure.
Right, let's get that in.
Yeah, because I like to prepare like sketches. So, like, I got the different characters here that I've been working on.
Whoa.
Oh, those look
Show
amazing.
So they'll
Ghost
be ninjas.
Claw.
You know?
Ghost Claw.
She's got Zubas, Evan.
She does. It's perfect.
These are from another series. I'll go over to the ones that are more.
Wow, those sketches are impeccable. Oh my God, look at all these characters.
Wait, I'm almost there. There. That's the new Blastoise.
Oh my God.
All right.
That is the
Wanna
updated
guess how many
Blastoise.
rocket launchers he's got this time?
How many?
35.
35.
My God.
Oh my God, the drawing.
He's got the jump pack.
Oh my God. Wow, so many rocket launchers. Had to overdo it. Amazing.
Oh well,
Wow.
I had to have one over the old one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
New
He's
ones,
kind of
and,
like the what's the Canadian guy that made the bear suit again? It's kind of
I
like
was literally gonna say that.
yeah,
The guy.
Oh, and I got a new bad guy that's Skeletor and Cobra Commander wrapped into one. So it's like
Amazing.
Commander, but I'll
That's-
call him Terminator.
That's
So-
actually kind of what your comics feel like. It feels like, there's a lot of people are collecting bootleg action figures now, from the 80s, and like your world is like this kind of bootleg world of mashup toys. I love that.
And
Mhm.
I got robot ninjas.
I mean, of course. Oh my God, these are
And
incredible.
robot Cobra Trooper, like knockoffs.
Oh my.
These are
God.
incredible.
And then I got the special bases and the vehicles.
Of course. Oh my God, those bases are incredible. Great base
And
drawings.
other robots.
Great.
My son wished he could get that at the store. Like if they made that.
Yes. I bet. Wow, Mirage. Cool. Damn.
So the good guys are going to be called like the Stealth Force Omega.
Wow,
And
Spirit Mountain.
guys that battle, Blastoise and the evil Dominator and his armies of baddies.
Wow.
Holy shit. Oh my
And
God.
Vehicles.
Endless vehicles.
So,
Wow.
other characters, more ninjas.
Wow. That is crazy, man.
And I got a lizard guy, new lizard
I
guy.
was about to say there has to be
Zorg.
Zorb. There has to be another
Zorg.
lizard guy. Zorg.
Yeah, and he's got like
Amazing.
swords and knives
Oh
everywhere.
my God.
More ninjas.
This book. Oh
This
my
is
God.
insane.
Hey, quote me a price on that sketchbook sometime, for sure. I definitely. Wow. Tatsumaki?
Yeah. So that's yeah. Oh, and I was working on like if it's a team, then I start to figure well they should have something that's
Yes.
like general for the whole team. So but I
That's
didn't
amazing.
the characters to still be have a different look. So all the previous sketches I'm gonna use, but I might change for like each would have like a same communicator on their armband, like and same kind of boots maybe, and another type of gauntlet with like equipment that would be like
Wow.
the whole team, But
That's awesome.
At least the rest of the costume would all be different, like I made them, and another bad guy robot. That'd be like an army of them. That'd be like the tougher version of the robots. Yeah. So I'm working. Yeah. So that's what I got now. So I got most of it ready to start working on the story. I'm thinking about the script, like how I'm gonna start the story and the main plot lines and stuff. So
Let's
I got
go.
a fair- So,
Yeah.
that's my project for 2022. Yeah.
Wow, that looks amazing. I cannot wait to see that. Holy crap. Keep us updated on that. Well, awesome.
Okay, I
Thanks.
sure will.
Thanks so much, Andre, for coming back on the channel and looking at Phoenix #1 with us. If you want to take a closer look at Phoenix, check it out on the Patreon. It's up there right now. Of course, I got a few typos to fix, but you can check it out nonetheless. And then, yeah, we'll definitely have you back, and we'll look at more issues as they are finished, and then we will put them up for sale as a big bundle that you guys can download. And who knows, maybe we'll be able to, if we get enough interest from those downloads, we can then, kind of talk to Floating World about maybe getting these in print back in print, which might require a more robust sort of translation procedure for that. But who knows? Maybe that can, if we can make if we can make enough noise with these, maybe we could do that. So, all right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in. It's been a fun show, and we'll see you again next week. And not sure what next week's show will be, but stay tuned on the Instagram, and we'll definitely post what it'll be. Gabe, any final thoughts?
Thank you so much for sharing, Andre. I can't handle how prolific you are still. I mean, this sketchbook is like, it was like a magician pulling like handkerchief out of his sleeve. It's just like 700 pages. I thought he was going to show us like 3 sketches
I know.
of a new character, and it's an entire 300-page sketchbook. Incredible, man. Thank you so much. We're all just so happy you're here with us. Amazing.
Yeah, totally.
Well, thank you for having me on the show, and I enjoy every minute. So I'll be glad to come back if you want me. So
of course, anytime. And of course, when you send me more of those movies too, we got to look at more of those on the channel as well. So we can't.
I'm
more of your
gonna
films
look into seeing if I can ship them for a reasonable rate. I don't know what the rates are now, but hopefully they're better than they were during the holidays.
Yes, they were pretty bad during the holidays. So we'll definitely get those in, and we will share them with all you guys. So, all right, everybody, thanks so much, and we will catch you next week, and have a great rest of your week. Take care, everybody. See you later. Bye bye.